Hello and welcome back to the France24 newsroom. Now it's time for the International Press Review. Ruben Easy has been trawling through all the world's papers. What have you got for us?
Well, we'll start with the Doris Lessing, surprise winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature yesterday. And there's quite a lot of rather charming photos of her there. The first she knew of it, I think we'll start with The Guardian there. They've got a good picture of her on her front porch. The first she knew, she says, that she'd won it was when she returned home and found a bunch of reporters outside her house and sat down on her porch for an impromptu question and answer session.
She was caught with her shopping, wasn't she? Wasn't she carrying an artichoke, rather bizarrely?
I think she was, and she'd just come back with her son and said she wasn't expecting it and had to put off a bunch of prior engagements because she'd won the Nobel Prize, as you do. Similar thing in the New York Times. They're paying her tribute to her really in today's piece. Her role in the feminist movement, sort of a key touchstone for feminism. She's the 11th woman to win the prize, although she lamented in her sort of post-prize comments that Virginia Woolf had never won it. Moving on, there's a nice piece in the German paper, the Frankfurter Allgemeine, about Doris Lessing. Now, what you may not know is that her nephew is a very popular socialist politician in Germany. So that's their angle on the piece. He's called Gregor Gysi. Doris Lessing married his uncle in Rhodesia, where at that time they were young, sort of idealistic communists. Her husband, moved to East Germany, described it as a socialist paradise, but she chose not to go, went to London, and they divorced. And this sort of ties in with her famous phrase about something to the effect of all utopias end up in concentration camps. So she certainly moved sort of to the centre, but she still has very good relations with her nephew, describing him as the world's last remaining romantic socialist.
And her ex-husband, I guess?
Perhaps less good relations.
OK, what else have you got for us?
Moving on, Turkey is obviously a big story, the potential fallout with the US over recognising the Armenian genocide. In the Times, they're talking about a growing rift, and they're saying, really, their opinion piece is saying that Turkey's military support for the US, obviously crucial, second largest army in NATO, big US military base on the border with Kurdistan. They're saying this is now becoming a bargaining chip to be played against the issue of the Armenian genocide, which obviously doesn't go down at all well with the Turkish government. In terms of the Turkish press, there's a piece from Zaman. This is an English language Turkish newspaper. Their opinion piece writer saying we're looking at another 2 or 3 generations before this issue of Armenia can possibly be really looked at calmly in Turkey. Still raises far too many emotions. They've got several letters which they printed written in by Armenian readers, really saying it's not just the issue of genocide, it's that Armenians' role in Turkish history has been totally written out of the history books and so on. So one that's set to run for a while there. And in moving on, finally, we can do Eid. Quickly, with the help of my colleague, I will add, I've been looking at the Arabic papers now. There's one called Al-Khabar. Very much the way we talk about Christmas, the writer there lamenting that Eid has become a thoroughly commercialised festival. They're saying in the past children would knock on everyone's doors, sing songs for everyone, whereas the writer says nowadays it's simply a case of getting your children in the back of the car, driving them to the family for 5 minutes and enduring the necessary family rituals. So really not what it was. Similar sentiments in Asharq al-Awsat, finally, Saudi paper. They've got a photo there of a mother in Baghdad buying very expensive branded clothing for her children. $320 million they spend on clothes
in
for
Baghdad.
Eid. For Eid, in all of
OK, Ruben Easy, thank you very much for that. Do stay tuned. More news here coming up. France24 in just a short while.